The Atlanta Hawks are one of the most interesting teams heading into this upcoming season. The reason for that is they have a new dynamic backcourt with, of course, Trae. He's been in Atlanta doing his thing for a little while now. Even gone to the Eastern Conference Finals one time on an insane Cinderella run. He's been there. Disappointing year this year, but he gets a new backcourt buddy in Dejounte Murray, who has been a straight menace this summer. AJ Griffin comes in from Duke to be an extra wing. They also bring in a couple of former Suns in Aaron Holiday and Frank Kaminsky to help round out the rotation, as well as a couple of veteran wings in Maurice Harkless and Justin Holiday, as well as all the guys they already have on the roster. So we're going to be talking a lot about the Hawks, seeing if they can get back to that Eastern Conference Finals that they were at a few years ago, all that and more. So make sure you stick around for the full video. Also make sure to the like button and the subscribe button if you do enjoy at any point. Now let's go ahead and talk about this elite backcourt. Like I said, Dejounte Murray has been a straight menace to society the entire summer. Him and Paulo now have beef. One of the more interesting ones, but if you know the backstory, you know, both being from Washington, going to rival high schools, it kind of makes sense. So now he, who, you know, averaged about 28 and 9 last year, so really solid stat line as the best player on that Spurs squad, now gets to pair up with Trae Young. And oh, by the way, Dejounte Murray, one of the best perimeter defenders in the NBA. Trae Young, one of the best perimeter offensive guys. No, not offender. One of the best perimeter guys in the NBA when it comes to the offensive side of the ball. You know, Trae knocking him down from the logo, from anywhere really. So this is going to be a really fun backcourt to watch grow together, and I think they're going to be trouble when it comes playoff time. Now let's take a look at the Dejounte Murray trade, which includes 3 future firsts and a pick swap, including the Hornets' 2023 first-round pick, which, if Miles Bridges is, of course, sent to jail, that could have some real value. Danilo Gallinari was also sent to San Antonio, where he was immediately bought out, went on to sign with the Boston Celtics. But I think this is a trade that, you know, it's a win for both sides. The Spurs get to go ahead and start their rebuild, while the Hawks, you know, they add a fantastic win-now player in Dejounte Murray. So, yeah, I think both sides benefit greatly from this. San Antonio gets to say, hey, okay, we're going to try to go out and get Victor Wembanyama. Atlanta gets to say, hey, okay, we're going to try to go out and get an Eastern Conference Finals appearance, maybe even Finals appearance. We'll see what happens. But they also make another deal this offseason, and it has to do with Kevin Huerter, as they send him off to Sacramento for a couple of veteran wings, and they get a 2024 first-round pick. So trying to get some of that draft capital back, I guess you could say. Justin Holiday and Maurice Harkless maybe could see some minutes at the back end of that rotation this year in Atlanta. But Kevin Huerter, he was a really, I'm not going to say good player, but a very solid player for the Hawks for the past 4 years. And, you know, the Hawks had tried a little bit of everything in the backcourt alongside Trae Young, including Kevin Huerter. Didn't really work out. He kind of got shuffled to the bench, and then, you know, only averaging about 12 points per game last year, they decided to go ahead and move him and look for better things. I think part of him being moved, 1, to get that draft pick, 2, to get those veteran wings, and then 3, to bring in Dejounte Murray and to free up some minutes for him. Now, the rookie that they bring in, AJ Griffin, with the 16th overall pick, that is a big-time steal right there. And I think AJ is one of the most NBA-ready players, playing on that Duke squad, which featured how many first-round picks? 4, I think, and then another second-round pick, as well as, what's the point guard's name? Jeremy Roach. He's going to be in the NBA probably sooner rather than later. So, an absolutely loaded Duke squad. He's learned how to play off the ball. He's not a guy that needs the ball in his hands to be effective on the court. Can be good on the defensive side of things. So I think that's a perfect fit for this Atlanta Hawks team. The fact that they were able to get him at 16, I think that's a pretty big steal. Now, they did make some free agent moves that we do need to talk about, bringing in Frank Kaminsky and Aaron Holiday to help shore up the rotation. Holiday going to be a backup point guard to Trae Young, because of course you could stagger it, give Trae and Dejounte, you know, different minutes out there where Dejounte can run the point some and then Trae can. But, you know, if they're both playing at the same time, then you're going to need a backup point guard. That's what Aaron Holiday brings. And then Frank Kaminsky coming in, I guess, to replace Danilo Gallinari. he brings, he can stretch the floor. He is a bit taller than Gallinari, maybe not as mobile and not as good of a handle, but can stretch the floor. So there's that. And he can help with that backup center spot too. Maybe they shuffle Onyeka around. It'll be interesting to see what they do. But they were able to keep both of these guys, which in my opinion was a huge W. John Collins staying in Atlanta, as well as Clint Capela. I didn't think they were going to be able to keep both the bigs. I thought one of them was going to be gone if they did bring in Dejounte Murray. End up only having to give up 4 first-round picks and Danilo Gallinari. Well, I'll say only, but that's a pretty good haul. But being able to keep both these guys, they get to bring back their starting front court. Hopefully Capela can have a bounce-back year because he did have a bit of a down year last year. And then Collins can just stay consistent. If both of those things happen, I think that these two are going to be a very, very good front court for the Hawks this year. Now, could an extension be coming up? It was rumored that DeAndre Hunter was in for an extension before long, and it was close to the 4-year, $100 million mark, and then talks kind of died out. Hunter has not been able to stay healthy for a full season in a little while now. Even at Virginia, he was injured whenever they lost to, of course, UMBC. But he is one of the best defenders in the NBA when healthy, so obviously you're going to try to keep him around. It'll be interesting to see how quickly that contract situation gets resolved. Now, let's take a look at the lineups real quick. I had originally thought that Dejounte would be the point guard, let him facilitate a little bit, and let Trae be the shooting guard. But then guys in the comments were like, look, they had the number 1 overall offense last year. You don't switch that up. Let Trae Young be the point guard. Let him get his pick and rolls, and then just let Dejounte play off of him and, take some pressure off of him at times. So I think that backcourt's going to work very, very well together. DeAndre Hunter at the 3. We'll see how long he can stay healthy for. Kind of a Gordon Hayward situation there where, unfortunately, you're just kind of waiting for him to get injured. But hopefully, he can stay healthy. John Collins and Clint Capela, we talked about it. That front court returning for yet another year. Hopefully, Capela can have a bounce-back year. Need John Collins to just stay consistent. And overall, I think this is a very, very good starting lineup. Good enough to make the playoffs this year. Well, they didn't make the playoffs last year. But, maybe make some noise in the playoffs this year. Taking a look at the bench here. It's a little bit better than last year. Bogdanovic being the backup 3, I think that's a really, really good situation there. Aaron Holiday can come in, he can run the offense, play a little bit of defense. AJ Griffin at the 2, we'll see how quickly he can work up to things. Being a rookie coming out of Duke, but I think he will do just fine. Like I said, one of the better win-now prospects in the NBA draft this year. Really like Bogdanovic at the backup 3. That's, really, really good bench depth there. Kaminsky and Onyeka Okongwu, a guy that was really coming into his own at the center spot. Very, very good rim protector for his size. And then Frank Kaminsky, guy that's able to stretch the floor. So I like this bench. It might be a little better than last year. Of course, they also have a few other pieces that we haven't talked about. Justin Holiday and Maurice Harkless there, those 2 wing pieces that, coming over from Sacramento, maybe they can find some minutes in the back end of the rotation. And then a guy that people aren't really talking about is Jalen Johnson, who was their first-round pick last year out of Duke. Got him at number 20. Thought it was decent value if you can develop him into something. So we will see. Maybe he gets some minutes this year with Gallinari gone. Maybe they don't like how Frank Kaminsky's playing. With that being said, though, that's going to be it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like button and the subscribe button if you did enjoy at any point. And make sure to leave me a comment down below, as it really helps us out in the YouTube algorithm. And with all that being said, thank you so much for watching today's video.